But the basics have to be good. The fundamentals have to be really good. So I'm a big believer that yes, you have to learn the basics.
The Ten Commandments Wealth went live on Easter Sunday. Join thousands of other people that made a commitment to a brighter future, to more prosperity, to brighter ways and better days. If you want to see the rest of this interview with this champion and many others, do yourself a favor. Click that link. I'll see you inside the Ten Commandments Wealth. It's right over there. Click that link. Bunny, what should you do? Click the link right there. Do it now.
Today I get to chat with the legend, the UFC Hall of Famer, Royce Gracie. And I've talked to a lot of people from UFC. I've sat down with some of the the most famous or legendary multi-time champions from that sport. But Royce is literally the original gangster of that sport. You won the first UFC tournament. I think it's 1993. Yeah.
Correct.
So you won the first tournament. You won the second tournament. You won the fourth tournament as well. Yeah.
Yes.
And these times, it's not just one fight. You're not just training for one fight, which is hard enough. But you're fighting some of the toughest men in the world at that time, from various practices or disciplines around the world, and you have 3 fights, 4 fights per night to be the champion at that time. You by UFC 1, I think, was 3 fights, and then the second one was 4 fights.
But you don't know who you're fighting, because
So
depend who wins the advance, and then you gotta fight and win and advance and move on. So you don't know who you fight on the second fight. The first fight, yes, you know, but the second one, you don't know.
So you can't prepare for that specific person and how they move.
You gotta prepare for everybody.
And today, the fighters today, which are extremely talented men and very tough men, but today, like you say, you have the advantage that you know who your opponent is ahead of time. You have one opponent. If they're a high-level person, you go back, you watch the videotapes of how do they do with other fighters, how do they move, and you have the advantage of seeing those nuances. But you walked into an environment in 1993 where you don't have the opportunity, you don't know who you're fighting, you don't have the time to the opportunity to review the videos and learn about them so closely. And then and you're going to have 3-4 fights per night. And you did that consistently and beat everybody's ass.
And there was no time limit, no weight division, and no rules. Pretty much the only rules it was no eye gouging, no biting. But if the opponent did that, there was no disqualification. It was just like, hey, don't do it again.
I seen in those videos there's little things in there, groin kicks, or some people aren't following the rules so precisely, and it is very tough sport. And your family's history, for people that don't know, your family really not only popularized jiu-jitsu as it is today, but in many ways they developed that sport for, at that time they were saying 65 years. So it's nearly 100 years of heritage that your family is developing the practice of jiu-jitsu and helping it evolve from the traditional Japanese sport to the way the whole world thinks about it today.
I think the main misconception that people have is that we're challenging everybody to prove that our style is the best. No, we're not. We're in a quest to find out which style is the best. So people are like, oh yeah, the Gracies were trying to put down the other styles. No. We're in a quest. When my father, my uncles, my cousins, when they learn, they're like, okay, how can we find out? Because everybody claimed that their style is the best. There's only one way to find out. No rules, no time limit, no weight division, 2 men walk in, 1 man walk out, pretty much. So, but it wasn't to put the other styles down. It's because everybody claimed that their style is the best. Mm-hmm. How do you know if Kung Fu is better than boxing? There's only one way to find out. Get the best boxer, get the best Kung Fu guy, put them in a ring or a cage and let them duke it out, no time limit, no weight division, and we'll find out, put it to the test. And that's what my family did.
Yeah. Just to be clear for people watching this, you're still practicing jiu-jitsu. You have your 7th degree black belt, yeah?
I don't know.
Okay, that's what the internet says.
Because, okay, when my father learned, and my uncles and my father, when they learned, it was white, the belt system was white, a light blue, and a Royal Navy blue for the instructors. There was no black belts, that's how they learned. So I think it was 1968, but back then, by the way, the pictures black and white, Royal Navy blue looks like black, but we're not black, the Royal Navy blue. So I think it was like 68, 67, 68, they create the IBJJF Federation Brazil, the BJJ Federation. So they create a whole new belt system. They award my father with a red belt as a grandmaster, my uncle Carlos. But then through the years, my father noticed that people were getting promoted to black belt because they win a tournament. Because they go fight MMA, they win an MMA fight, they become black belts. So my father, in protest, went back to wear a blue belt, the Royal Navy blue, in protest of the federation. So in the last few years of his life, he was wearing a blue belt. The example that I use all the time is, imagine Mike Tyson walk into a karate school, he will knock out all the karate instructors. Do that make him a black belt in karate? He doesn't know the katas. He doesn't know the system. He's a good fighter. You see, so because the guy goes and wins a tournament or wins an MMA match, doesn't mean that he knows the system. So my father, in protest of that, don't take me wrong, he's a very good fighter, probably the best in the world. But if he doesn't know the system, what makes him a black belt in karate or the other styles? So my father, in protest of that, started wearing a blue belt. I always got promoted by him. Once he passed, I put a belt like his with his signature on the end, and promotions stop right there. So people give me ranks, I don't know. But belt only covers 2 inches of your behind, man. The rest, you gotta back it up on your own.
The internet says 7th degree black belt.
I am a 7th, okay, cool, I'll take it, hey.
And the point that I meant to make is that jiu-jitsu as a lifetime practice is not something that you did back in the day, or that your family, that your brothers, your uncles, is not something they did back in the day. Is a lifetime practice where an honored tradition throughout your entire family that to maintain that skill and advance the skill.
My father, before he passed in '96, he was still teaching classes. You go to his house to pay him a visit. Right away, my son, did you bring, you call everybody, my son, come here. Did you bring your gi? Come step on the mat with me, come here, go change. Right away, you go visit him. I want to just do an interview, Mr. Gracie. It's okay, do you have a gi? If not, I have one for you. It's like, okay, wow, I'm just here to interview. No, come over here, get dressed, please. Step on my mats. That was my father.
Yeah, in his 90s still.
96.
No. Well, I forgot my original thought because that was such a good story.
But it's a for life, yes.
Yeah.
It is for life. And when we say that Jiu-Jitsu goes beyond the mat, what a lot of people don't know what that means. What we mean with that is, okay, the guy wins, he's a champion, and he fights or he competes and he teach the students one thing, and then he step outside the mat and go get drunk, go get high, go eat shitty food. It's like, you see, it's like, it's beyond the mats. We serve as example. So when we say beyond the mat, I don't drink, don't smoke. You see, I don't say that I eat, oh my God, I'm vegan. And no, I eat pretty healthy. So always exercising. So I serve as example beyond the mat. Because I can't tell my students, yeah, you guys teach them and then a good amount of technique and they become good, but then I go get drunk. It's like, whoa, doesn't match. So our lifestyle, yes, it goes beyond the mats.
Yeah, I see interviews back in the 90s, I see old interviews. I think after you won the first UFC tournament, that you're saying to to the man doing the interview with you, that you were inviting other people to come, not challenge in a macho way, but the way you said is like, you want to know who is the best, or you want to learn this, and you're saying that you see a lot of tough guys in magazines, and you hope they come to the next tournament, that you look forward to having that challenge or to competing with them to see what is the best.
Again, it's because it's a quest for us on any business, on any, why they have football or basketball. Because two teams claim that they're the best. There's only one way to find out. Let's make a match. Let's put them to go. Let them go. You see, and sometimes they have several matches to decide who is the best, which team is the best in a tournament like football or basketball or any game or any business. Everybody have the claim that they're the best, and there's only one way to find out.
I've been learning jiu-jitsu in my old age. I did not do this through my life. I was a business person. I spent 9 years in university. I spent decades, 35 years in entrepreneurship of learning how to provide high quality value for money, how to help someone solve problems and they pay me for it. And I'm very good at solving other people's problems because of that. That's what I spent my life thinking about. But recently
So hold on. Can you solve your own problems?
Well,
or you go to somebody?
Both. Depends on the problem. Many problems I'm very good at solving my own. And then, but anything new that I want to learn, I want to find the best people doing that. So when I want to learn something new, I don't want to fumble around by myself. I don't want to try to invent a system when there's a system over here that's working good. I don't need to invent a new system. I want to find a high-level professional that's a coach. In jiu-jitsu, I asked Jake Shields to be my coach, and he comes to my home. Every 4 weeks, he comes for 3 days. We train together. We have like 4 sessions, so maybe 8 hours every 4 weeks. And when he comes back, I better have learned something, and I better have been practicing that and know better. I have professional Paulie Malignaggi is my boxing coach, is multi-time world champion boxer. So when I wanted to learn, more about martial arts, that I made my money. I'm going to make more money because it's my lifetime practice. I'm going to make more money, but money is not my main concern now. So then I wanted to learn about martial arts. So I find 2 world champions, multi-time world champions that they're going to help me. And I listen to what they say, and I follow the instructions as best I can. And if I have a question, I ask them, why do we do it this way, or why not this way? But I try to understand, but I don't argue. I don't argue with them. I don't ask for a shortcut.
Try to understand, yes.
I just want to understand. If I had some guy across town, maybe he's a very good boxer, or maybe he's a good jiu-jitsu guy. I'm sure there's some guy that's local that's good. I want to work with really high-level person, because I know if I do that, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to do exactly what they say. I'm going to learn it deeply. And I think there's a big misconception out here that they're watching too much bullshit on the internet, and they think, you're going to make a lot of money. You haven't done shit in your life with business, but now you're going to make $1 million this week, or you're going to learn, jiu-jitsu skills, black belt type jiu-jitsu skills in 2 months or something. And no, you're not. So I think the real shortcut. I'd love to hear your opinion. When I want to learn something new, I don't want the shortcut. I want to find who are the best people doing this, and I want to follow that path.
People want fast. They want it now. It's like, for example, shooting. I love shooting. Mm-hmm. And they say when you shoot paper, when you shoot the paper is one thing. When you shoot metal, it's an instant gratification because you hear the ting, mm-hmm. ting, you hear the noise. But then you shoot the paper, there's no noise back. It's like, even though you're hitting good, so a lot of people prefer to shoot the plates because of instant gratification. So people want things to happen fast. Oh yeah, I want to learn jiu-jitsu in 6 months and I want to be the UFC champion. Dude, I want to fight for Bellator and be the Bellator champion after 8 months of training. Is that, it's possible, but you have to be a very talented, you have to be really good at something else besides that, besides coming in and learning. And yeah, it's from zero, it's very hard.
My friend Mike Chandler, he's 3-time Bellator champion. And I think he had the most wins at Bellator in any weight class, I believe. But he and I were training together at my place. And I don't ask him, the fancy, special, blah, blah, blah. We worked maybe 200 times on, single leg and double leg takedown. There's a thing, we spend...
Basics.
Yeah. And, he's an extraordinary wrestler, very good wrestler, very good at MMA in general, but he's strongest suited, wrestling. So what do I want to learn? I want to learn what are, the basics of wrestling from a master, from someone who's really mastered that craft and done well. So, I don't want to learn 20 things because I'm not going to learn them deeply. So we spent most of the time, single leg, single leg, single leg, single leg, and then some double leg.
But I believe that people have their own personalized style, but the basics have to be good. The fundamentals have to be really good. So I'm a big believer that yes, you have to learn the basics and good, because my style is going to be different than yours. People are, well, show me how to fight like you. I can't. I can show you the basics and you're going to have your own style. Mm-hmm. Or show me how to fight. I want to box like Mike Tyson. You can't. There's only one Mike Tyson in the world. You can't box like him. You see, I can show you how to do boxing, but not like Mike Tyson. You're going to have your own style. I can show you, teach you jiu-jitsu, but you'll have your own personal style. You're not going to have my style, different.
And I say all the time, I think you'll agree, that you can't have your style or a person who wants to learn this who's, I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to do it my style. Your style is going to be shit unless you understand those basics, those fundamentals. You must master this first.
Yes, you got to have the basics. You got to have the basics. But then, yes, you're going to have your own personalized style. Flexible, you're stronger. So, but the basics is the same. An arm bar is an arm bar. A single leg is a single leg. If you don't know how to do a single leg, it doesn't matter if you're flexible or strong, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna do it.
I was living on my coach's living room on a mattress. I ended up just bouncing at a bar. I'd been a cop. I quit my job. And
Derek Moneyberg presents 10 Commandments of Wealth.
Took the gamble on myself to become a successful professional fighter and make it to the UFC or Pride and at the time. And
am I making a sacrifice right now, or am I just investing in a better future? So it's easier for me to make those decisions when I think about it as like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that you mention it, having to actually really process and think about it, I think that word sacrifice is kind of like, I believe it's the word that the ones at the top kind of use to make everyone else feel better about it. Because when you're at the top, now you realize that was an investment.
Was everything just golden and easy and handed to you, or do you have a little struggle yourself along the way?
No. Yeah, in 2013 and 2015, I was living out of my car, full time, and I was too proud to ask for help. Like, how ridiculous is that? You're living out of your car and you think you know it all. And 2015, that's when I kind of I knew that I didn't know it all. So why not find experts in that and really shortcut that? I thought I was going to just chip away. I thought I was just going to read books till I was an expert. I never really talked to anyone that actually did it.
It's been about a week since I've joined the 10 Commandments of Wealth program, and there's so many interviews that are offered in this program.
I'm inside the Derek Moneyberg 10 Commandments of Wealth program. This is an awesome program that you're gonna love. I'm gonna use the principles and the knowledge from this program to help me boost my leads in my marketing firm. Buy this program, it's a wonderful investment for your future. You won't regret it and you'll absolutely love it.